What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream today. You know what? I felt like it was right to start with Thierry Henry today, man, rather than, my usual Arteta trolling pictures that we've been putting up. But yeah, I had to put that picture up of Henry. Them numbers are ridiculous, by the way. 321 games, 200 goals and 112 assists, 3 FA Cups, 2 Premier Leagues. How we never won the Champions League with that guy in our team, I will never, ever know. That is actually a whole show in itself. Did we underachieve the Invincibles? The Invincibles for me should have won a Champions League. But listen, we'll save that. That'll be another show and another debate. Big up to each and every one of you. It's Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday. Hey, and there's no Arsenal game this weekend, so they can't mash up your weekend, So make sure you enjoy yourself. Hope you're all well. See you, net. Let's go, people. Hope you're well, and we'll discuss Mikel Arteta today, who has said he wants to get in the top 4. And, can he get there? Will he get there? Do the club care if he gets there? I don't know. We'll break it down, people. We'll break it down. Pepe on the green screen. I'm telling you, man, I'm backing him. We need Pete to do something between now and the end of the season, man. He needs to do something. Stand up, you know the rest. Yeah, go on. It's got to be done. You know the rest. Robbed of Ballon d'Or twice, Thierry, 100%. Finally, it looks like we've got some sort of targets, but, maybe he's had a bit too much to drink over there in Dubai. You never know, man. You never know. People saying Eddie going to be the new number 14. If Eddie gets Thierry Henry's number 14, we might as well all just choose to watch some other sport, people. You know what I mean? If he gets that. It wouldn't surprise me. Eddie, new contract, and he wears the 14. Pepe should play as a striker with Martinelli and Saka in support. I've seen a big debate going off today on social media. Who should play up front? Should it be Gabriel Martinelli or Pepe? We might have to get a poll up for that, actually. Let's go into Granit Xhaka mode, people. Slow it down a little bit on this Friday. Make sure you lick down that like button on the video. We've been getting great numbers on every video, so thank you very much to each and every one of you, as always, for your support, people. Prince of Peace said, a big fan of you from Africa, Namibia. Big up, bro. Hope you're well. Rastaman, targets already released. Sheesh, Arsenal, the PR. Listen, man, you know Arsenal, man. They're just the PR kings, aren't they? They are the kings of PR, Arsenal. They are literally shameless in every way, shape or form, to be honest. And speaking of shameless, people, to the average person, today is Friday. It's Friday, weekend coming up, no more work, hopefully, for the weekend. But to Arsenal, it isn't just Friday, it's new training kit. No, we're not in Europe. We didn't sign one person in the transfer window. But I tell you something, we did make another training kit. And here it is, people. Brand new training kit being released by Arsenal. Kind of been modelled on the bruised banana settings again. They want our money, people. They want our money. They just won't spend it, unfortunately. They will not spend it. Straight into Kroenke's back pocket. New training kit Friday. We might as well call it that. New kit Friday. No new signings, but a brand new training kit. I tell you what would have been decent. Would have been decent if you had a new player to market it for you. Guess what? We might have all been hyped up. I might have got the card details out. Sort code and account number. Next day delivery. If Vlahovic or Bruno Guimaraes or somebody half decent was wearing it. But you can't get us with the puppies no more. We've seen that. You've played that hand already. Yeah, put a puppy on Saka's chest. We've seen that. We've seen Kieran Tierney with a Tesco bag. Sad thing is, the training kit actually looks nice. As a Jamaica fan, like you're saying, Reggae Boys settings, people. Welcome to Jamrock business. But I have to stay away from it. I have to fight the fight. I can imagine myself on holiday wearing that. And in fact, the more I look at it, the more I'm kind of getting hypnotized by it. So, you know what I mean? Oh, my days. Why do they do this to us, people? The training kit is actually banging. Where's the new players? Put a new player in it, and I'm asking for next day delivery. like pandemic's been tough, man. We're all trying to get on holiday this year. I'm trying to be on the beach wearing that, but I feel dirty doing it. I won't be doing it. I won't be doing it, but it's banging. I can't lie. Get top 4, I might get it, but if only they were as good at signing players as they were at producing training kit. Omar said Curtis going to order it. I'm not, man. I'm not. Cool running settings, man. Sanka business. You know what I mean? I'm staying well away from it, though, man. But yeah, definitely tempted. Man said putting Eddie on the back. Bro, even if you gave me Eddie on the back of a shirt for free, I wouldn't take it. Like I said, when I got that kit earlier in the season, they said, oh, you can have a name on the back of the shirt for free. I was like, nah, I don't want none of them. You should have seen how the cashier was looking at me. He couldn't believe it. He goes, what do you mean? It's free, though. Like, just put a name on the back. I said, bro, I'm a grown man. I'm not walking around with any of those players on the back of my shirt. I don't believe any of them are good enough to go on the back of the shirt. I know that's disrespectful, it might sound. I said, I'll keep it plain. Looking at it, I should have put one of the OGs on the back. I should have just put Ian Wright number 8 on the back or Burkamp 10, you know? Yeah, we're going to do an AFCON watch-along, people, on Sunday. So we'll do that. Salah against Mane. I think it's 7 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. Start doing a few neutral watch-alongs. I looked at the fixtures for Saturday. There's not a lot there, I can't lie, in the FA Cup. So I'm not sure we're going to do one on Saturday. But Sunday, there will be an AFCON watch-along, so make sure you join me for that. It's the PR, Curtis. It's the PR. And big up Kevin Campbell. It's his birthday today as well, so make sure you show him some well wishes on Twitter and whatever. You follow him on people. I think he's 53 today. He's doing well for 53, man. Must be using hella cocoa butter and that, man. He don't look 53, I can't lie. So big up Kevin Campbell, man. I hope I haven't tempted any of you to order that training kit, by the way. And there was no intention meant by showing you that. I'm definitely having to fight myself from ordering that. Omar said Barca v Atletico. That is interesting. Do we do an Aubameyang watch-along? I think that's on Saturday, you know. Is that on Saturday or Sunday, that game? Let me check. I know it's like 3 o'clock kickoff. Will Aubameyang be involved as well? Yeah, I think you're right. Sunday. If Aubameyang's involved, I might do that. Man said baiting up Kev's age. It's there, man. Arsenal tweeted it and everything, man. Zach said, I'm ordering it. I'm blaming you. Oh, man, keep the receipt, man. Keep the receipt. Big up MDMA. It's my birthday, Curtis. Big up to you, man. Happy birthday, bro. Hope you have a great day. No Arsenal to ruin it. I'll pass unless they have Matt Turner. No Matt Turner. Right, let's talk about Arsenal. Yeah, big up, Kev. 53 years young. So Mikel Arteta did a interview over in Dubai. The team are actually back now in England. I don't think they're training till tomorrow. And he did a short interview. I'm assuming this was done before Aubameyang left because they don't mention it unless they're just waiting until the press conference happens when he's going to get grilled in the press conference, I'm sure. But Arteta, I actually can't wait for the press conference next week. Before we play Wolves, man. That is going to be interesting, especially now Aubameyang fired some shots yesterday at Arteta, which we'll speak about a little bit more later. I don't really want to speak about Aubameyang too much in this one. We have spoken about him a lot, although I might do the watch-along, though, on Sunday. I can't lie. And he was asked a few questions. It's a short one. They were very easy questions. He said, our aim this season is high, but it's possible. Finally, they're setting targets, people, after Edu said no targets. Mikel Arteta says our objectives for the run into the season are high but possible and believes the hunger of our squad can help them achieve their goals. He said, we're firmly in the mix for a top 4 place with 17 games remaining of the campaign. The boss has full faith in his players. I mean, listen, the thing is, when you set targets, if you don't achieve them targets, people will consider you a failure. So I think sometimes that's why people don't set targets. But I believe at top level sport or business, it's important you do have aims, you do have expectations. So listen, we'll have to see. He goes on to say, we have the youngest squad in the league. He loves saying that, don't he? And I get it. It is the youngest squad in the league. But at the same time, you created the youngest squad in the league. You bought those young players. You chose to go down that route. So you can't then use that as a way out if things don't work. And that's something that frustrates me. You know, we didn't have the youngest squad in the league when you took over. You chose that route to go down. So you can't choose it and then use it as an excuse. You know, you've still got to perform. He said we have the youngest squad in the league. And that is not a coincidence. We planned to do something like that because we had to rebuild something as well that we believe in, Arteta told Arsenal media. I just find that comment so interesting, and I kind of don't buy into it. He said we planned to do something like that because we had to rebuild something that we believe in. I don't believe you have to sign young players all the time to create a rebuild. I think you can have a mixture of young players and experienced players, players at their prime. I think when you try and buy players who are at their best or close to their best, they're going to be more expensive. They're going to be more difficult to be convinced to come and play for the football club, because if you're at your best, you're going to say, bro, this is the prime of my career. Can I afford to put that in the hands of Arsenal and Mikel Arteta? You look at the signings that Arsenal signed in the summer. And as much as people really enjoyed that transfer window, I thought it was an easy transfer window for Arsenal. I didn't see any difficulties in doing those deals. Ramsdale was in the Championship. It's easy. Tomiyasu's at Bologna. It's easy. Ben White's at Brighton. You pay the money, you're getting him. Lokonga and Tavares are easy to get. Odegaard may be a little bit more difficult, but Madrid didn't want him. They took his squad number off him. I think he also has to show people that I can convince a top player to come to Arsenal and believe in this project. Now, he did do well in getting Thomas Partey, but you also have to look at the time we just won the FA Cup and we quadrupled the man's wage. So I still think he's got to prove himself in the transfer market a little bit. But we have signed some good talents, but I just think it was an easy set of players to get, in my opinion. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm doing him dirty here, but I just think those players were not difficult to convince. He says we had to rebuild something. So he's kind of... And listen, I will give him some credit for that. I do think when Emery took over, the aim was get us back in Europe as quick as possible, Champions League. I don't think they tried to rebuild. I don't think there was any long-term planning. It was just go and get us back. We didn't back him properly in the first transfer window. I actually think if he'd have got top four that first season, it would have been a minor miracle considering the players that we signed. You know, Socrates and Lichtsteiner and players like that. But he fell short. And then that summer, he wasn't allowed to buy the players he wanted. He wanted Fabinho. He wanted Harry Maguire. He wanted Wilfried Zaha. He was given David Luiz, Ceballos and Nicolas Pepe. So he struggled to work with the players that he was given. So I do think when Arteta walked in, they kind of said, knock the house down and rebuild it. I think Arteta and the board were like, listen, we can't patch this up anymore. We got to knock it down. I just don't think that whole Project Youth thing is enough. I think you've got to drop those missing pieces into this team. You've got to bring in a 26, 27-year-old that is at it right now, that will come in and cause issues to other teams. We can't always wait for this team to become something. Because as I said, players will get cherry-picked. They really will. Let's continue anyway. Penalty Spot said, regarding Partey, do you think he has taken his foot off the gas since coming to Arsenal? Kind of waiting for the process to kick in. Listen, let me tell you something. Sometimes players don't deal with added responsibility, right? In the sense that when you're playing in midfield for Atletico Madrid, how hard-working they are, how well-organised they are, you're part of a strong unit. You really only have to concentrate on your own game because you have a lot of players around you that are very talented. You got your Griezmann, they had Diego Costa, you got Koke, you got Saul. You had all these players around him. He could just focus on his game and play his role, what he's good at. You've brought him to Arsenal and you've thrown responsibility on his shoulders. The midfield is weak. We've got a lot of young players. We've got a young manager. The league is more difficult. It's quicker. We're asking Partey to get on the ball and play more. And I don't think that is what he is best at. I don't think Thomas Partey is a ball-playing centre mid. He's half decent on the ball. He likes to play that little threaded pass between the lines. But added responsibility is not something that every player can deal with. Some players need to be able to focus on their game, to have quality players all around them so that they can do their job. We've put added responsibility onto Thomas Partey and he has struggled to deal with it. And sometimes when you're adjusting to a new league, you don't want that added responsibility. You want to spend a year getting used to it. I actually think Thomas Partey is a quality player. He's the best midfielder at Arsenal. When he's at it, he's amazing for us. He's just not consistent enough. But I think you need to see him in a better midfield. What midfielder has played next to Granit Xhaka and excelled? You know, none of them. Ceballos, none of them have excelled next to him. Spot on, Curtis. No, listen, it's opinions, innit? Mo said a lot of harsh criticism on Arteta. I feel like a lot of people would rather see him fail just to be right, not saying you. And listen, I hear you on that. And listen, I've had that thrown at me before. And you know, I don't ignore messages like this. I always say to people, listen, I banter Arteta. Sometimes I criticise him, and I do make judgments of him as a manager. I'll never abuse the guy on a personal level. And I actually hope he does the business, because if he does well, Arsenal do well, we're all happy. I don't want to be sitting here for 2 weeks, Arsenal not playing because we're out of cup competitions. You know, we're out of Europe. You know, I'm trying to make content and support the club. I want us to have games left, right and centre and do well and celebrate. I don't want to be sitting here for 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, we ain't got a game this weekend. You know, so, but there is frustration amongst the fan base and sometimes you get that kind of attitude towards him. You know, some people, it does feel like they want him to fail. But, you know, it's the frustration of being a fan and seeing your club underachieve. Arteta is the fact. Oh, man, Julian, why did he ever make that comment? That was a horrendous comment, man. Big up to you, John. Partey came from a high-level environment with Simeone at the helm. Exactly. Let's be honest, Simeone is a world-class manager, Arteta is not. That's no disrespect. That's just the reality of where we are. You got a world-class manager and top players around you in a slower, less physical league. You come to the Prem, inexperienced team manager in a difficult league. It's going to take time. You know, it's just whether he ever reaches that level. Let's get back to Arteta and what he had to say. He said, we have a squad full of enthusiasm and passion, but with the right amount of quality and experience as well, which I think is very much needed. I think we need a little bit more experience. I'm not going to lie. And I think some of the experience we've got is not the right experience. Your Granit Xhaka's, I don't think he is. And, you know, I would say it's a squad that lacks leadership, in my opinion. Even Thomas Partey doesn't strike me as... I mean, I could be totally wrong. He doesn't really look like a leader to me. He looks very quiet. So I think we need a little bit more leadership in there. And I think a couple of more experienced players in the summer. BX Gunner said Partey has been a letdown. He wouldn't get in the starting lineup in a top 4 team. He needs to be sold. 3 years is too long. I think that's harsh. I think he gets in Man United's team, to be honest. You know, I think he could get in some of those other teams. I can't lie. I think he could. But we're not seeing the Partey. We can't... There has to be a balance. When you sign a player and he does bad, you have to look at, is it him? Is it the manager? Is it the setup? Is it a combination of all of them? I still think Thomas Partey is a very good player, but he's definitely not performing at the same level. But I would say create a solid midfield, then you will see the best of him. I think to sell him would be a backward step. You know, what have we got in place of him? I'd rather have Torreira than Xhaka, I agree, but I just think with Torreira, he doesn't want to be in England. You know, after the first 6 months, he was constantly talking about Italy. He wasn't settled. I'm not sure he spoke the language properly, so I don't think it worked. We slept on Emery, let's not lie, he's streets ahead of Arteta. There was a massive debate yesterday about Emery and Arteta and saying, you know, have we improved? Under Arteta, was Emery a better manager? I think Emery was a better manager. I just don't think we were creating something that was going long term, and I think that's down to the board. I don't think they backed Emery properly. and allowed him the time. I think they panicked and thought, you know what, year and a half in, it's gone wrong, get rid of him. And I think when Arteta took the job, he would have demanded time. Don't forget, they tried to appoint Arteta when Wenger left. They released it to the press, and the fan base were fuming with it. Wenger had been here 20 odd years. They weren't ready to have Arteta as manager. So they always wanted Mikel Arteta as manager. Jeff said any midfielder in the Prem would get in United's midfield. I mean, McFred is not great, is it? Emery wasn't good. Arteta is a fraud, so he doesn't like any of them. Emery better than Arteta. Emery over Arteta. Emery is 100 times better. I think he is, but, for some reason they've chose to back this guy. Big up Luke, who said big up Curtis. CJ said facts. They didn't want to back Emery. If he got his signings, we would be a threat. He wanted Fabinho and Zonzi and Zaha. And that's the thing, when you're the manager and they don't back you, you don't sign the players that you want, it's difficult. You're working with players that you didn't want at the club that don't suit what you want. Victory Through Harmony said, only thing Arteta has over Emery is a rate of cones put down per minute. Let's see, now you're trying to draw me out now. I'm trying to go easy on Arteta today, but then, oh man, big up to you, bro. Let me continue. He said, so we are really looking forward to the running. We know what the aim is at the end of the season and where we want to be. It's high, but it's possible, and we're going to have a real go in the second half of the season to achieve it. He said, I'm very confident because I see how much they want it, and we still have a lot of things to improve. He goes on to say, we have lost points that sometimes show the lack of maturity we have in the squad. But at the same time, we won a lot of games because of the enthusiasm, the passion and the energy they bring to the team. And this is what I'm saying, you're talking about lack of maturity. That is the lack of experience. That is putting it all on the youngsters. So, I just think in the summer, if he's still the manager, whether he is or not, the club need a few players with a bit more know-how that have played for their country in big tournaments, that have played Champions League and things like that. Viking said Emery got a tune out of Iwobi. I mean, selling Iwobi for 35 million, it's got to be one of the best transfers ever. It really has. Robbie said, I saw how much we wanted it against Burnley. Oh, mate, don't get me started with that game. That game was absolute pain. I was sitting there watching that. Viking said, if we still had Emery, then Guendouzi and Saliba would be in the team, possibly. Kyle said he just isn't the right manager for y'all, Curtis. Lampard came on our own and knew he could win us trophies. So we got a manager who can. Listen, I believe, and I'm not going to cap, I'm not going to cap. I've never believed that Mikel Arteta was the right manager for Arsenal. And I still don't believe he's the right manager for Arsenal. What I will say, I think he is improving, but I think it's at too slow a rate for the fans. I think this project's going to take another couple of years before you even see it get to where we want it to be. We're Arsenal Football Club. When he took over from Emery, we were thinking, we won the FA Cup. You're thinking, right, that's it. Champions League assault next season. You've won the FA Cup, Aubameyang scoring, you've still got Pepe, you've added Partey, Gabriel. It should have been top 4 assault last season. We finished 8th. We crumbled out of Europe. He was very, very lucky to survive last season, which was one of probably the worst season I've ever seen as an Arsenal fan. So then this year, it's like, well, come on then. Now we've got to go for it. And I think the frustration came from the fact that, Edu was saying no targets and things like that, And now that the narrative is being fed that top 6 is enough. We were in top 6 when he took over, in terms of we were in Europe when he took over. So to then fail just to get yourself back to where you were in the first place, that, for me, can't be seen as success. I think the aim was to get further than that. And I just wonder why they feel it's going to take so long. I'm not sure why they've done that. I just don't think they want to put the kind of investment in that's needed to get back to that level. Buenos Aires Goon, I hope you're well, bro, said Emery took us to the Europa League final with Mustafi, Socrates, Iwobi, Mkhitaryan and Cech, but nobody was saying it's the players. Listen, we know, people. We know. The narrative, for some reason, I don't know why, the narrative completely changed from Emery to Arteta. I don't know why that was. I just think it was the PR. If you look when Mikel Arteta got the job, from day one, they pushed the PR on us. They never did that with Unai Emery. They kind of just said, right, Emery's the manager. There's the signings. Everyone sat back and just said, let's see what he does. You never saw the club really defend Unai Emery. They didn't promote him to us to be this great manager. They didn't push everything he did that was good in our face. You know, with Arteta, they really pushed the narrative. You know, and it makes you wonder why they didn't do that with Unai Emery. Because I actually think Unai Emery was a very good manager. I think he struggled with communication, with not speaking the language, and he wasn't given the same time, which you have to wonder why. Snake Eye said if he aspires for top four, then he should have made the moves required to get top four, 100%. And we will speak about that as well. Lee Murphy, thank you for the super chat. Bro said, when have we ever signed top players in the Premier League era? Ozil and Alexis are the only two I can think of. Possibly Partey, but he's flopped so far. We made players. I would say Aubameyang was a big signing. He was, along with Lewandowski, the best striker in the Bundesliga. But listen, your point is true to a certain extent. Arsenal are not necessarily known for, you know, just buying superstars. We don't. We sign a lot of players with a lot of talent and potential, and we've made them into players. The problem is, can you build a whole team from that? You know, and even when we bought lesser players, we still had experienced players as well when we were successful. Big up Peach CS, thank you very much for becoming a member. We will get a member stream out sometime over the next few days. It will be maybe Sunday or Monday, at the latest Monday, but I will let you know. Make sure you check out the community page, because the last member stream was just before the transfer window, so now it's closed. I want to know your thoughts. Oh My Jay said, Emery spoke against the club when he said about loans and free agent signings. Arteta is a yes man. And listen, that is one thing that I did like about Emery. He was very clear. I remember that January window, he's like, we've got no money to spend. We can only get loans. And I was like, wow, finally we're getting clarity. And maybe the club didn't like that. They have said publicly they liked the way Arteta defended the club. So, yeah, as you say, man, I think a lot of it is PR. He goes on to say, so we have to keep maintaining that balance right and give them confidence. When those players feel supported, and I know that we are right behind them, and they play with no fear, that is when they fulfill their capacities and qualities. It is our job to do it, and our fans have been crucial in that because they have really felt they are behind them. I mean, they're having a great time in Dubai, even though they're back now. But I just think with Arteta, you know, listen, the fans, I think, have been fantastic for Mikel Arteta. You know, despite people like me and I'm sure other people who have called him out and said they don't think it's good enough, I think he gets a very easy time of it within the stadium. You know, the few times I've been to the Emirates this year, the fans have really backed the team. They've got behind them. They understand it's a young squad and they're trying to help them. So he's had time. I don't think a lot of clubs would have given this much patience. You know, I even see Everton getting rid of managers after 6 months. Crypto Nerd said, Curtis, my G, respect. You and DG are the only real ones left. Beggar man, stop holding back on Kevin. Now, listen, there's a lot of good people out there speaking on Arsenal. You know, I don't just want to credit me and DG. Big up DG every time. But listen, it is what it is. South London's finally said, the fans in the stadium have been doing a madness. I think because of the pandemic, the fact we've had no fans for a year, they've all come back and just said, I'm happy to be here. I'm going to support the team. The atmosphere is great. We're going to back them. I just think for me, you have to have accountability at top football clubs. That has to be, if you fail, there are consequences. If you know that failure is going to lead to nothing, I don't think you're as driven to be successful. If you're in your job and you know, listen, if I get this project wrong, I could lose my job. You're going to put everything into it because you don't want to lose your job. You know you're under pressure. That's what you get at the top level of anything. Sport, business, you are under pressure to perform. That's how you create greatness. I just think you can't have this narrative with Mikel Arteta that you're going to get a new contract no matter where we finish in the table. Is very dangerous, you know. LFC Aaron said Arteta is lowering expectations, demand better. I think, Aaron, and big up to you, I think it comes from the Kroenkes. And they've hired two people in Edu and Arteta that are happy to be there. They're happy to be there. That's the difference. Jurgen Klopp isn't just happy to be at Liverpool. He's at Liverpool to win things. As you know, your picture says it all with Liverpool, Champions League and Prem. Conte isn't at Tottenham for a jolly up and to just take whatever Daniel leave it. He's there to achieve something. He'll walk out if not. We've hired two people that are happy to be there because we've given them an opportunity they wouldn't have got elsewhere. So they're not going to knock on the Kroenke's door and say, listen, this has to change. They're not going to do that. They're going to take whatever they're given. Take what you get, what you're given, kind of thing. And that's the problem. That is the problem. And listen, I don't blame Mikel Arteta, because if I'm Mikel Arteta and I'm assistant manager at Man City and you offer me the Arsenal job on $6 million a year, I'm taking it. I'm taking it all day long. But unfortunately, there's a lack of balance at times. I look at it like this. Between now and the end of the season, we've got no issue and we've got no other option but to support the team. Right? That's all we can do. Every time they play a game, we've got to support them. Between games, we'll discuss the game. If it goes well, we'll enjoy it. If it goes bad, we'll break it down. But there has to be accountability. There has to. Frank Lampard was a Chelsea legend. He got fourth with no signings. Following year, it was going bad. Halfway through, gone. You know, change isn't always a bad thing. Thomas Tuchel won them the title. Imagine if Chelsea fans were going, well, you know, Lampard's a legend. He got top 4 last year. Give him time. He'll get it right. He needs another year or two. Now, I realise Chelsea and Arsenal are very different. You know, they spend a lot of money. I just think if I was the Kroenkes and I'd spent 250 million as Arteta has spent, I would look at that team and say, for 250 million, that team has still got expensive gaps in it that are going to cost a lot more money to fix. Victory Through Harmony said Arteta's averaging 45 cones a minute. Cone merchant. Oh, my days. Scarrety said, how's it going, Big C? I've booked overtime all weekend. Arsenal are killing me, bro. May as well go earn the money. Yeah, why not, bro? Why not? Go and earn that bread, man. Sir Fester said, Man U v Middlesbrough today. Watch along Balogun. Didn't think about that. Balogun. I doubt it, though. I doubt it. I can't lie. I don't even know if I'm watching that game. FA Cup is painful to watch now. We're out of it. Jeff, big up to you, bro. He said, when your aim is to build a young squad, it automatically gives you more time. If Edu and Arteta targeted seasoned pros, they'd be unemployed now. I think there is some truth in there. I really do, because if you buy a ready-made product and it doesn't work, you've got no escape. There's nowhere you can go. If you buy a load of Thomas Partey's, that sort of age group, that sort of expense, and that team doesn't work, what excuse can you give to the Kroenkes? You don't have one. If this team underperforms this season, Arteta can say, we're the youngest team in the league. We need time. You need to let us build. The Kroenkes clearly look like they're willing to let that happen. So, yeah, I think it buys them time. It buys them excuses. But I think now, the Arsenal fan base, for me, I can only speak for myself. I'm at a point now with Arteta where I'm like, go and produce something. Let's stop talking about it. I don't want to hear project. I don't want to hear process. I don't want to hear time and patience. I want to see trophies. Well, we're not going to win trophies this year. I want to see performances. I want to see victories. I want to see results. I don't want to hear the excuse. You know, you've had enough time. We've spent 250 million. If you look throughout our team now, I think the goalkeeper's fine. I think the back four is fine, especially if you bring Saliba back. We probably need a new right back to go and challenge Tomiyasu. You look at the midfield, I think we need 2 centre midfielders in the summer. We need a top quality one to go and play next to Partey. I think we need a better backup one if you get rid of El Neni or Xhaka. And we need a striker. So I would say our midfield and our strike force is still not good enough. And when you've spent 250 million and half of your team is still not fixed, I would be frustrated by that if I was the owner. I would say, I give you 250 and you still need a striker. You still need 2 centre mids. We're probably going to need 2 strikers with Lacazette and Eddie and Nketiah leaving. So I think there's a lot more money that needs to be spent. I really do. Graham said, Curtis, I have no problems with Arteta personally. However, the club could do with changes. The owners don't have any ambition. Edu doesn't get deals done. And Arteta is too inexperienced. You've got to have somebody in that chain that really knows what they're doing. You can't have three people all trying to learn at the same time. I think that's why we've had difficulties at times. Because you've got three people kind of looking at each other going, all right, how are we going to handle this? Consistency, yeah. My man, Kurt, just because you spend money doesn't always mean it's good money. 100%. We've seen that. It's not all about money. We've spent probably more than clubs that are higher than us in the table. Look at West Ham. West Ham haven't spent half of what we've spent. Most of their players are from abroad in the Championship. This is a big thing I wanted to look at today. And I, again, think this is a major reason that Mikel Arteta, number one, has been given the job, and number two, will keep the job beyond this season if we don't have a major breakdown and end up like 9th or 10th in the table. As you can see here, this is Arsenal's annual wage bill. For the first time in a long time, Arsenal's wage bill is under 100 million a year. Now, Arteta has done that, obviously, by shifting Aubameyang, shifting Mesut Ozil and Kolasinac. Now, this probably excites the Kroenkes. Let's be honest, as an Arsenal fan, I don't care about this because I don't believe we're going to reap the benefits of this. If I felt like, oh my God, our wage bill's now 87 million, we're going to go and sign 4 players this summer for 200 million, give them all 250 grand a week, and we're going to be world beaters. But as an Arsenal fan, I don't expect that to happen. This is part of the reason that they love Mikel Arteta, because he will put that piece of paper on their table and they will go, look at this guy, Arteta. We're paying him half of what we were paying Arsene Wenger. He's nearly half the wage bill. And he's causing us no problems. He defends us in a press conference. He's got a bunch of young players there that they're probably thinking, give it 2 years, Saka will be worth 80 million and Smith Rowe will be worth 80 and Martinelli. It's all business. Arsenal, in the eyes of the Kroenkes, is a business. Remember, yeah, as you said, oh my God, what did they do when Robin Van Persie had the meeting with Wenger? Do I sign a new contract? They pulled out facts and figures, said, look how much money we've made this year. Do you know what Robin Van Persie did? He walked out the door and signed for Alex Ferguson and won the Premier League. Now, Arsenal fans were always saying, oh, he's a snake and that player's a snake. Oh, Ashley Cole's a snake. Cashley Cole, that guy went and won the Premier League and the Champions League. Right, so we can't always blame the player for leaving. We got to look at the situation. Van Persie wrote an open letter to us all them years ago, right? And everyone criticised him. But the proof's still in the pudding. We're trying to save money. Man said discount code Arteta tax. I'm telling you, man. And they will love this. They will love this. We're in a pandemic. He's saving money. He's using young players. The wage bill's dropped massively, people, because the new signings are not asking for big money compared to the older ones. Lacazette, 170 grand, he'll leave in the summer. Aubameyang, 350 grand, he'll leave. Well, he's left. He's left already. Pepe, 130 grand. He will probably get sold in the summer as well. So, Dylan said the game we love is changing, not just our club. Yeah, it is. The game is changing. Money is dictating a lot of what happens in football. But at the same time, you've got to be smart with your money. You have to be smart with your money. Vegas Gunner said 87.2 million isn't a true number because we paid players to leave. Why don't they say how much that is? I mean, listen, like you said, bro, it's not a true reflection because all these players we've let go for free. We paid money for them. So the club will make a loss. When the figures come out in April, I'm pretty sure the club will be at a loss for the last year because we hardly sold anyone for decent money. And we spent 150 million. 100 million of that came from Kroenke taking out a loan. So, yeah, you're right. The club haven't actually made money in that sense. But over the year, the actual wage structure has been halved, which is a big part of the reason why I think they want to keep him at the club. They love these facts and figures, people, So, There you go. Arsenal Business Limited, people. 2,000 of you in the chat. Big up to each and every one of you for tuning in. Smash that like. Can we hit 1,000 likes again? We've been hitting it daily. I really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, as we aim for 50k by the end of this season. What competition will Arsenal be in at the end of this season, people? Arsenal is totally a business. Graham said, I might be unrealistic. Do you think Ten Hag would consider Arsenal? The club is similar to Ajax. He is excellent working with the youth. Will also add experienced heads. For me, if we don't achieve something decent in the summer, I would go for him and Overmars. It's just whether Man United go for him. But I think Man United will go for Poch. I think unless Poch wins the Champions League, PSG will get rid of him in the summer and probably go for Zidane. So I would go for Ten Hag and Mark Overmars, but I just think they're going to keep him and give him a new deal. Chris said Aubameyang not being replaced is criminal. I mean, we've got this new narrative now, again, which we love to do this as Arsenal fans. Not all Arsenal fans, but it's like when Arsenal do something really wrong, people dress it up to be something good, which, listen, I respect people who look for positives in negative situations. You've also got to be realistic and balanced about your opinion. You know, now they're saying, Arsenal, we've learnt so much from our past mistakes and we decided not to sign anybody because, you know, we didn't want to force it. Listen, you don't sign players for the sake of signing players. I totally agree with that. But good teams try and get things done. Great teams get things done. Great teams don't say, I tried to do that. I tried to do this. They get it done. They do what is necessary. Arsenal needed a striker in this transfer window. If they were going to let Aubameyang go, you had to bring in a goal scorer. Somebody to come in and try and get 10 goals between now and the end of the season. They sat on their hands and did nothing. They're going to feed the narrative that they couldn't find anybody that could improve the squad. You could find 10 strikers that are better than Eddie and Nketiah and Lacazette in this window, who you could have probably gone and got. We've spoken about them time and time again. You do not let Aubameyang go and don't replace him. It's crazy. You don't weaken yourself for the rest of the season. You just don't do that. Now, he decided at the start of December that Aubameyang was finished. There was clearly no way back. They should have spent the whole of December lining up that striker and had option 1, 2, 3 and 4. And they didn't do it. They sat there. They went for Vlahovic. People said, yeah, but they went for him. That's cool. It's cool going for a player. But if you can't get him, you've got to have another option. You know, you could have got somebody in that maybe would be the second choice next season. But we all know that Eddie is not the answer. You know, in a game, there's going to be games where Lacazette's having a stinker. You need a goal, you got to take him off. You're bringing on Eddie and Nketiah. That's not the answer. It's just not the answer. There were better options out there. I've said many times before, I think I would go with Martinelli up front. I think he can press. He's quick. He can finish. Some people are saying Pepe. Maybe we try Pepe. But I think he has to find a different way of playing if we're going to find any success this season. Charlie said, as Arsenal fans, look for positives because there are no real things to be positive about. I mean, listen. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. Like Lee Judges said yesterday, if we're sticking to the process and we lose Saka, ESR or Martinelli, that'll be the straw that broke the back. 100%. Listen, as Arsenal fans, we know what it's like to lose top players. Unfortunately, we had a whole decade of losing our best players, and it just wouldn't surprise me if one of those three was cherry-picked in the next 2 years. Because when you're a 19, 20-year-old making your way in the game, you don't necessarily mind not winning trophies too much because you're trying to establish yourself. You're trying to find yourself as a top-level player in the Premier League. You want that new contract. You want to get in your national team. After a year or two, and you realise and you go, hang on a minute, you know, I've got 15, 20 international caps now, and I'm on 90 grand a week, and, you know, Pep's given my agent a call, and Klopp's asked a question, and I go on international duty, and all these players are winning trophies and playing in the Champions League. That's when your mindset changes. I'm sure Cesc Fabregas loved Arsenal at 20. By 24, he wanted to leave because your mindset changes. This is the problem with Arsenal. They can't just sit there and think, oh, we got Zachary SR and Martinelli. Teams will come for them. Gabriel, left-footed centre-back in the Brazil squad. You can see him being moved by, Bayern Munich or Barcelona or Real Madrid. So they got to be careful. Outgun said, big up Curtis, I think we need 7 players. A striker, 2 centre-mids, 2 centre-backs. If Saliba is binned, a backup right-back and a goalkeeper. I don't trust Turner and Leno is leaving. Don't have to spend money. Where is the scouting system gone? Big up to you, Outgun, for your super chat, bro. Listen, we're going to need a big rebuild in the summer. And the problem is, if you get in the Champions League, you need a squad full of quality because the Champions League group is difficult. Barcelona got knocked out of the Champions League this season in the group stage. They'll be in the Europa League. That's how difficult the group stage is now. He would have to increase that wage bill that we've just decreased. He would have to put that up again. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to just go into the Europa League because, let's be honest, you can win a Europa League group without having to even play your full-strength team. So he would rather keep the wage bill low. Not have to go and buy top players, not have to spend massive wages. It's all structured around Stan Kroenke. I criticise Mikel Arteta. I criticise Edu. But ultimately, the biggest problem at Arsenal is the owner. It's as simple as that. It's all around him. People will say, yeah, he spent money, but spending money is not enough. That's not a guarantee of success. Look at Everton, how much money they've spent, and they're in a relegation battle at the moment because they haven't spent smart money. They went and bought Iwobi and Walcott and Andre Gomez, and you know what I mean? It's about smart spending. Jake said, Yoda settings, there is no try, only do or not do. I had to say it. It had to be said, Jake. It had to be said. Ain't no trying. Nobody don't feel sorry for nobody in football. It is the most harsh sport you will ever be involved in. Nobody cares, people. Nobody cares in football, right? Nobody cares that Edu tried to sign Vlahovic. Nobody cares that Aubameyang and this and Arteta and you had things to deal with. Nobody cares because they don't say to us, oh, you know what? Because we didn't sign a striker in January, when we play Man United at home, we're going to do tickets half price as a sorry to all the fans. Guess what? They don't care. They don't care about us. They just want the dough. So we don't care about the excuses. We just want the striker. We just want the centre midfielder. We want a team that's successful. At the moment, you're giving us a meaty team with nice training kit. That's all we've got at the moment. Loves Music said, as a Spurs fan, Aubameyang's treatment was a disgrace. Listen, we can only go off what we know. And what we know, I would agree with that comment. I think it was a disgrace. But I think we know realistically there was more to it than we know. And that would give you the truth. And maybe we'll find out in the All or Nothing documentary. Maybe they're keeping it back. Odegaard incoming. You heard it here first. Man said Odegaard incoming, man. He's already in the building. He'll probably make him captain now. He loves that guy as well. 2.1k in the chat. Big up to all of you. Hope you're having a good Friday. Hope you got plans for the weekend. No Arsenal game. It's not quite the same. As much as I come on here to vent my frustration and what direction we're going in, it is boring when there's no Arsenal game. I can't lie. I'm looking forward to the game on Thursday against Wolves. Can Arsenal win a Europa League group after losing to Nottingham Forest? I'm telling you, man, Dundalk and Rapid Vienna looks a little bit different now. Penalty Spot said, you need 1, maybe 2 top players to turn this team around. Thing is, who will join us? We are not an attractive offer right now. I think what Arsenal have got to start doing, this is my opinion, because I think Arsenal lack that magic spark in this team. I do love players like Martinelli and Saka and ESR, but I still think we can get players from a level above that. I think Arsenal should start targeting teams that are below us in the Premier League and trying to cherry pick some of their best players because those players would want to join you. So, for example, just for example's sake, looking throughout the Prem, Basuma from Brighton, he would come to Arsenal. I like Neto and Podence, at Wolves. Both very good wingers, in my opinion. I think we should look at those kind of players. To rebuild the squad because those guys would want to come to Arsenal. Like you said, Calvert-Lewin, whether he's the answer or not, he would come. Rafinha, there you go, another one. Tielemans. Those kind of players, in my opinion, would all come to Arsenal. because we are a step up. We are a bigger club than all those clubs. We would double their wages. And I think you build a hungry team with those kind of guys because they want to go to the next level. So that you're spot on. Ward-Prowse, I think, is a very good player as well. Neto is a very good player. I think he's back from injury now as well. I rate him highly. Calvin Phillips at Leeds. These kind of players, all those kind of players would come to Arsenal. You put 3 or 4 of them in your team, you've got hunger, you've got Premier League know-how, you've got experience, but they're still young and developing. That is the kind of signings I would be looking for. Decore, Kufau. Would you go for Dennis? He's had a good season. I haven't really seen enough of him, to be honest. Lamptey, yeah, good player. Good player. I think we're still looking at him. St. Maximum. Listen, there's loads. I know Arsenal probably avoid the Premier League because you get Premier League tax, English tax. A man said Arteta tax as well. Listen, I know some fans will look at that and go, well, that's not what we moved here for. We want to go and grab star names from Bayern Munich and, teams like that. But we got to be realistic about where we are and be smarter with our money. Ruben Neves is another player that I think we could get. Harvey Barnes. Like I said, Origi is a free agent in the summer. I would take him. I would honestly take him as a second choice striker. Big up to Handgun Stopping said, I do not expect more than I've seen so far this year because it does not happen. We have seen in recent years big love for Arsenal always. Listen, it's very difficult to expect a lot from Arsenal because we feel like we've been let down by Arsenal for a long time. But we live in hope. We live in hope. We've got to just hope that somehow this works out, A lot of you putting in names there that I think would make sense. St. Maximum would be good. James Justin, a good player. Nah, Ben White, Cedric. Let me not hammer them. Wolves fan, big up to you, bro. Said, hey, Gunners family, happy family. Hey, we'll be friends until Thursday. One of us will be unhappy by next Thursday. In fact, we play Wolves twice in 2 weeks, I believe now. So it's interesting. But yeah, I would start cherry picking these Premier League clubs. These players will want to join us. They'll be hungry. And they already know the league. Pedro Neto is a baller. He can replace Royce for us, said Dortmund for life. Big up to you for the super chat. Darren said West Ham going for Calvin Phillips. Arsenal fans will turn their nose up. I'd take him. I like him. I think he's a good player. Outgun said Premier League is like no other league in Europe. Not every player who does well in Europe will kill it in the Prem, especially when it comes to attacking players. 100%. 100%. Bayern do it in the Bundesliga, definitely. So do Dortmund. Dortmund go and cherry pick a lot of players, turn them into the stars, sell them on for big, big money. I think Arsenal should be doing that. We should go for Declan Rice. Declan Rice will go somewhere else. It'll cost a fortune as well. I think he'll end up at Chelsea, personally. He's a boyhood Chelsea fan. I think he ends up at Chelsea or Man United, one of those two. I wouldn't mind the Dortmund coach, Marco Rose. I'm not sure how Dortmund are doing this year, but I know, obviously, that Haaland's banging them in. Vegas Gunner, do you rate Burton, the striker from Blackburn? Interesting thing about him, right? Saw him out clubbing a few times when he was at Nottingham Forest. Obviously, I'm a Nottingham boy originally, and, his name, Ben Burton, or however they pronounce it, and he goes to Blackburn, finds out his grandma's from Chile, changes his name to Ben Burton Diaz, gets in the Chile squad. Now he's being linked with crazy moves. I see him playing against Argentina, him and Alexis Sanchez up front together. It's crazy. I wouldn't have him at Arsenal. I can't lie. I don't know if that's because I've met the guy personally and he just doesn't strike me as a star, but I think he will end up in the Prem. Ostrich said Calvin Phillips, I like him. Listen, if Leeds got relegated this season, you go to Leeds, you say Rafinha, Calvin Phillips, what would you give him? 80 million for a relegated team? 90 million? 80, 90 mil for them two? 80 mil for those two. Centre mid and a winger. Go and get a striker, job done. Shut down the window. Probably need 2 strikers. Get Origi on a free. Get another centre mid. Jacob Ramsey is a very good player. Honestly, every time I've watched that guy play, I've been impressed by him at Villa. Very, very good youngster. People saying you missed a super chat. Let me see. Apologies if I have. Comments are flying in, people. David, get Neves and Rafael Leao. I seen a thing with that Rafael Leao. He's in debt. He's got to pay money out to his former club or something. A couple more comments, then we're out of here. Curtis, do you think Bamford is good for Arsenal? I don't like Bamford. I can't lie. He did have a good season last year, but I don't rate him. Dwight McNeil, he's not bad. Not bad. I saw him the other week. He is quite good on the ball. Anthony from Ajax is a player that I think he's going to be a star. Absolute star player. I would go and get him now before he ends up going like Real Madrid or somewhere. I think he is a star. He's so skillful. Definitely. Like I seen a thing from Rivaldo saying that Edu should go and get him, but I don't think Edu's woke up for the whole of January. I don't know what that guy's doing. Right, people, I am out of here. One more, let me get your super chat. AP, this ain't FIFA, mate. Hey, I'm telling you, man, those kind of signings are realistic, man. Go and get Wolves, Everton, Brighton. Go and get their best players. Cherry pick, they would all want to come to Arsenal, that is for sure. Big up to each and every one of you for tuning in. Like the video on the way out if you didn't lick it on the way in. Make sure you subscribe. This weekend we'll do an AFCON watch-along. And tomorrow I'm not sure whether I'll be on or not. We'll see how much news there is. So I'll see you Sunday if not. But if there's a bit of news, we'll be back tomorrow. Enjoy your weekend, people. No Arsenal to spoil it. Let's hope Balogun can get a goal against Man United tonight. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you for the AFCON final on Sunday. Bless.